And it's like, whoa. He said recommend. He didn't say don't fight. He said, I recommend.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Daniel turned around instantaneously, said to me, Coach, I want to fight. I said, whoa, hold on. I called his father straight away. His father was upstairs in the father's room. So the father made his way down, sat down, and said, the doctor was still present when Daniel's father came down. The doctor reiterated what he said, I don't recommend he fights based on what he has seen.
Charles just dropped a bombshell on Daniel Dubois' situation, and the controversy is only beginning. As soon as Dubois insisted on fighting, Charles hit the brakes, calling his father to step in. Meanwhile, the doctor stood firm, making it clear that he did not recommend Dubois stepping into the ring. But let's be real. Since when do doctors decide who fights and who doesn't? On the other hand, Dubois wasn't looking for excuses. He wanted to fight. As his father arrived, the doctor reiterated his concerns, and suddenly Dubois' fate was no longer in his own hands. Was this a cautious decision to protect his future, or was Dubois robbed of a defining moment? The heavyweight division is ruthless, and opportunities don't come often. Did his team make the right call, or did they strip Dubois of his warriors' right to fight? One way or another, this decision will haunt him forever.
Joseph is sending out a message. Come on, Alexander. Let's get it on as only he can do. This is his theme, Don. This is what he does. It's totally tongue-in-cheek, but Parker's trying to grab the moment.
Correct. And why not, says Barry Norman, late Barry Norman, why not indeed? Right? So, yeah, why not? He's trying to get a fight.
Jim White and Don Charles have just sparked a heated debate. Joseph Parker is making a bold statement, and the heavyweight division better take notice. Meanwhile, Parker isn't sitting idly by. He's putting Alexander Usyk on notice, demanding the fight like a man on a mission. On the other hand, Don Charles sees through it all. He believes this is Parker's strategy, an intentional move to seize the moment. But is it just a calculated act? Or is Parker genuinely forcing his way into the title picture? The boxing world watches closely, fully, aware that calling out Usyk is one thing, but getting the fight is another. However, why shouldn't Parker take his shot? After all, he's earned it. And with every call-out, he's making it harder for Usyk to ignore him. The real question is, will Usyk answer the call, or is Parker just shouting into the void? 1. Things for sure. The pressure is mounting. Share your thoughts below. Do you think Usyk will take Parker seriously, or will the politics of boxing hold him back?
Must remember as well, Joseph Parker was actually a voluntary there for Daniel Dubois. So when that fight fell through, people have got to understand, why does he deserve the chance against Alexander Usyk when the champion who fell ill would obviously Usyk, that's the fight that wants to be made because we want to get the belts back together again. So Parker, as unfortunate it is, and you know he still got the victory and he got the payday, but he was a voluntary, and that's where we're at with it.
No, what I'm saying, right, people are missing a lot of points here. It's almost everyone's feeling sorry for Parker, yeah? And I've been in the same situation. I don't believe anyone felt sorry for myself or my fighter. This is going back in 2010.
Spencer Oliver has just fired back at the doubters, making it clear that Joseph Parker deserves his shot at Usyk, and there's no debate about it. Meanwhile, Don Charles is pushing the narrative that Dubois should be first in line, but Oliver isn't having any of it. He reminds everyone that Parker stepped in as a voluntary when Dubois pulled out, took the risk, secured the win, and now people are trying to push him aside. That's not how it works. Oliver also shuts down the idea that Parker is just lucky to be in this position. He fought, he won, and now he's earned the right to challenge Usyk. On the other hand, Don Charles argues that Dubois was the original opponent, so he should get his shot first. But let's be real. Boxing isn't about sympathy, it's about results. Parker did what he had to do, and Oliver is making sure nobody forgets it. The division is heating up, and Parker isn't backing down.
Dubois fight, you wouldn't hear people talking about it, you wouldn't hear whispers, the Saudis talking about it, etc. It'd be a fairly slam dunk. I'm going to fight Joseph Parker next. Oh, the Parker-Usyk fight would be made like that. It'd be a fairly slam dunk if that was the case. So I'm not buying that for a second. But it does make you wonder, you know, what is going on with Daniel Dubois? Is there something else, you know? I don't know what it could be, because if it's not sickness, I mean, what else is it? A lack of confidence?
Spencer, Oliver just fired back at the doubters, stating that Joseph Parker absolutely deserves his shot at Usyk, and there's no debate about it. Meanwhile, Don Charles is pushing the narrative that Dubois should be first in line, but Oliver isn't having it. He reminds everyone that Parker stepped in as a voluntary when Dubois pulled out, took the risk, got the win, and now people want to push him aside. That's not how it works. Oliver also shuts down the idea that Parker is just lucky to be here. He fought, he won, and now he's earned the right to challenge Usyk. On the other hand, Don Charles argues that Dubois was the original opponent, so he should get his shot first. But let's be real. Boxing isn't about sympathy. It's about results. Parker did what he had to do, and Oliver is making sure nobody forgets it. The division is heating up, and Parker isn't backing down.
Surely he wouldn't look at Joseph Parker as, you know, a bigger test than all them. And I know he wants the Usyk fight, he wants undisputed, but I certainly felt as though he was confident going into the Joseph Parker fight. I really did. I didn't see any signs that he wasn't, to be honest with you. So it is a strange one that since, I know it's been about a month now, since February 22nd, we've not heard really.
Something's off with Daniel Dubois, and it's raising some serious questions. He didn't seem to think Joseph Parker was any bigger a test than the others, and everyone knows he's had his eyes on the undisputed title. He was confident heading into the Parker fight, showing no signs of hesitation. So why the sudden silence? Where has the confidence gone? The fight was set, the challenge was there, and yet we've heard absolutely nothing from Dubois' camp since February 22nd. It's been over a month, and still no word. What happened to the fighter who was all in for the Usyk showdown? Has something changed behind the scenes? It almost feels like the pressure of facing a fighter like Parker has made Dubois and his team rethink the entire situation. Is it fear of the challenge? Or something else? Meanwhile, Parker keeps pushing forward, showing his readiness to take on the best, while Dubois is nowhere to be found. What's really going on?
Usyk-Parker fight, I think, is a good fight. Parker's on a bit of a roll. He's just beaten Martin Bakole. That was a great knockout. I know Bakole was flying in late from the Congo and he was tired, but that shot on the top of his head sent his equilibrium, and he got stretchered and he got ironed out. It was all over the place. The fight had to be stopped. So although it was a good win for Parker, he's not going to get great credit for it. But do I want to see Parker in the ring with Usyk rather than Dubois?
Carl Froch didn't mince words when discussing the potential upcoming clash between Usyk and Parker. He's certainly intrigued by the match, especially after Parker's impressive recent win, but he's not ready to crown him, just yet. On the other hand, Parker has been on a rampage, bulldozing through his opponents with a savage display of power, especially with that knockout of Martin Bakole. The way he dropped Bakole was nothing short of brutal, a devastating blow to the top of his head that left Bakole wobbling and ultimately unable to recover. However, Froch is still cautious. He acknowledges it was a solid win, but it's not the kind of performance that will have the boxing world in awe of Parker's abilities just yet. More importantly, Froch raised an intriguing question when it comes to facing Usyk. Would you rather see Parker or Dubois in the ring? That's the debate everyone should be having. Is Parker truly ready for the undisputed king, or should we be focusing on Dubois instead? The tension is rising.
It's interesting. If the WBO are going to take the title off Usyk, and the Dubois fight, as I've already said, is not a unification fight, maybe give Parker his shot, and then Dubois can then step in and fight the winner of that. But I think the massive favourite, like I've already said, is Usyk.
Meanwhile, Carl Froch didn't hold back when he tore into the political chaos of the heavyweight division and the WBO's next move. He posed a provocative question. Could the WBO strip Usyk of his title, with Parker stepping in to challenge for it? On the other hand, Froch painted a compelling picture. If Parker gets his chance, the real drama would unfold, as the winner of Usyk versus Parker could face an even tougher opponent next. But even with all the uncertainty, Froch made one thing crystal clear. If Usyk and Parker do meet, there's No debate on who's the favorite. Usyk, with his flawless technique and ring IQ, would be the heavy favorite to dominate Parker. The heavyweight division is in flux, but the burning question remains: will Parker's momentum be enough to overturn the odds, or will Usyk reinforce his dominance as the undisputed champion? The stakes are higher than ever, and the tension is undeniable.
Frank Warren is probably going round to Team Parker right now, begging him, please, please, Joseph, please, Joe, let my little nephew Dubois, let him get an undisputed fight, please. I beg you, Joseph. I'll do anything. I'll give you £5 million. Hell no, fuck no. Joseph Parker's like, hell no, Frank. Nah, I'm a warrior. I want to fight the best. I ain't taking no fucking side.
On the other hand, it's likely that people behind the scenes are scrambling, desperately trying to convince Joseph Parker to step aside and let Daniel Dubois take the fight with Usyk instead. You can almost picture them pleading with Parker, trying to sway him into relinquishing his shot. But Parker, being the fierce competitor he is, isn't buying into any of it. He's made it clear, this isn't about money, side deals, or handouts. Parker's sole focus is on proving himself against the best in the division, and no amount of behind-the-scenes politicking is going to sway him. While Warren might be pushing for a less dangerous route for Dubois, Parker's mentality remains laser-focused on one goal: the world title. The heavyweight division better get ready, because Joseph Parker isn't just going to sit back and let others decide his fate. He's coming for the top spot, and nothing, not even the best efforts of those pulling strings behind the scenes, will stop him from achieving his destiny.
The way that you were wording that then insinuates that you believe that Alexander Usyk is going to give up that belt, and therefore Joseph Parker will be upgraded from interim champion.
My understanding is that he may do that, but he may choose Joseph Parker. He's got the option to choose Joseph Parker over Daniel Dubois as well. That's the option it gives him. And there are talks going on.
On the other hand, Adam Catterall didn't hold back when discussing Alexander Usyk's next move. He dropped a bombshell that sent shockwaves through the boxing world, suggesting that Usyk might be ready to vacate his title. This move could pave the way for Joseph Parker to be elevated from interim champion. The implications of this are monumental, with Catterall stating that there's a real possibility Usyk could give up that belt, setting off a frenzy of speculation. It's not just about Parker stepping in. Usyk still holds the power to decide his next challenger, and Parker may very well be the one in the driver's seat. Meanwhile, Catterall also floated Daniel Dubois as another potential option, but the buzz around Parker's name is hard to ignore. Talks are happening right now, and this could be a game changer. Catterall added, feeling the hype, that the heavyweight division is on the verge of a major shakeup, with Parker potentially ready to seize this golden opportunity. Could this be the breakthrough Parker's been waiting for? Or will Usyk stick around to silence all challengers? One thing's for sure, the heavyweight division just got a lot more unpredictable.
Out of the fight, not Joseph Parker. And it was Daniel Dubois that put himself out of line for it. So why would Daniel Dubois be awarded a direct crack of Usyk when he pulled out the fight? So the right person to get the crack should be Joseph Parker. Why not? He was the one that turned up to fight, he fought, got the job done.
Johnny Nelson didn't hold back when tearing into the current state of the heavyweight division, and his words cut deep. He immediately called out the flawed decision-making, pointing out that Daniel Dubois, who pulled out of the previous fight, is somehow being handed another shot at Alexander Usyk. Nelson didn't mince words. He called it a travesty. He emphasized that it should be Joseph Parker, the fighter who showed up, did the work, and delivered, who deserves the title shot. Parker didn't flinch under pressure. He faced the toughest opposition and earned his right to challenge for the world title. Meanwhile, the decision to reward Dubois, a fighter who pulled out, raises serious questions about fairness in boxing. Nelson's frustration is palpable. If boxing truly valued merit and commitment, Parker would be the one stepping into the ring next. The real question is, will boxing continue rewarding those who take a step back, or will deserving fighters like Parker finally get what they've earned? The stakes have never been higher, and the future of the division hangs in the balance. Like, comment, and subscribe for more explosive boxing content.